Right, let's look at remote ID. Okay, so before we got the new CAP 17722, we had CAP 1879. Now, CAP 1879 was our guide and the guidance for everything. Okay, so that's what we knew we were coming. So remote ID in CAP 1879 was very clear. It was about privacy and security. So privacy, they're worried that we can use a drone to spy on someone. Well, a telephoto lens has proven that it can already do that. So that argument, you know, a standard camera, it can see far more than we can with a drone. Simple fact. You know, a telephoto lens, you can hit something a kilometre away. A certain royal was caught out like that. So we know that privacy was not really a good, you know, it was not really right. And then there's the security part, and security again, it's not really right. They're saying security, security, security. Trust me, do you think anyone who wants to do something bad is going to have remote ID on a drone? Why would you? So security is a non-starter as well. So privacy and security are two false things to say you need remote ID. Okay, it's just fact. Okay, and anyone that thinks otherwise doesn't understand at all what we wouldn't do. If you wanted to do something, I would just chuck my aircraft and let it go and do it. I wouldn't worry about anything else. You know, security. People want to use drones for bad things. You know, come up with a better reason, because they're not going to put remote ID on a drone, and there's too much legacy stuff out there to make people. That's the other problem they've got. So they've changed the wording. So remember, CAP 1879, the last two versions always stated privacy and security. Now CAP 722 threw the curveball. Okay, they went security and they put two new words in. Law enforcement. That's right, they went law enforcement. Now, the only people that will ever get punished by this system, remote ID, is people that put remote ID on a drone and you are caught flying where you can fly, because you'll have done your test. It's meant to build on the drone registration system. You'll have done the test. You know you can't fly in a flight restriction zone without permission. You know with an A2 CFC you can fly in a built-up area as long as you keep the separation. You do know if you've got a GVC, you can fly within the rules of the GVC that you've got. So again, flying in a congested area or built-up area, whatever you want to call it. If you're a model flyer, I'm a model flyer as well. If you're down the model flying club, what do you need remote ID for? What is the point of it for a model flyer? It's absolutely crazy. But they think that it's just a good way for this to happen. So here you are, you're flying a drone. Here's your drone just here. Here's someone like a police officer. You could be doing a roof inspection. Police officer sees it from 200 metres away or 300 metres away. Oh, there's a drone. I'll see if I can connect to its remote ID. They then talk to the drone and they get a web page kind of system. It will tell them the operator ID. It will tell them the height from the takeoff point. It will tell them the pilot's location, so where you are stood. It will tell you the speed of the aircraft. I'm not sure why it's relevant. And it will tell you the serial number of the aircraft. I'm not sure if they mean like the DJI serial number or the one you give it in your fleet. I don't know. It will then show them on a little map where the drone has flown to and from and everything else. 0 is north, and it does a little map, and then they can come, they can find you and then give you a fine. Or maybe they'll just take a screen snapshot and fine you. Who knows? Who knows? There's too many questions about who can issue fines and do all that stuff. Okay, because the police don't know the rules at the best of times. And when the A2 CFC kicks in, I feel sorry for them. You know, but December the 2nd, 2021, we have to have this on our aircraft. And you have to have it on all your aircraft that you want to fly. Now, I'm not sure if it means that the 4 aircraft I've got next door, will I have to have a device that I can take off and put on another drone? The problem is its serial number is to the drone you're flying. And I'm going to have to log in, change that every time. That's a pain in the ass. Or have I got to buy 4 units because I've got 4 commercial aircraft? What? That alone model flies. I know model flies. So you go flying for the day, you'll take 4, maybe 5 aircraft. You can have a Watt 4 you take off, you fly the Watt 4 for a bit. Right, I'm going to fly the Edge now, my Edge 514, I'm taking it out, give it some blasting. Oh, so I've got to have another ID unit on that. Oh, that's good. I'll fly the 540 for a bit. Yeah, I'm now going to fly something else. I'm going to fly my 3D aircraft. Does that mean you've got to put another remote ID? Why can't we just take it and put it in each one? And who's going to give the model aircraft serial numbers? Model aircraft don't come with a serial number. Okay, it doesn't happen like that. They come as a kit, you glue it together, you put servos in it, and you put your electronics, right? And then you can go out and have fun. That's what we used to do. Oh my God, it's a ball ache now. Right, so, anyway, I don't want to go on a rant. I've done this video 6 times. Now, there is a second part to remote ID. Okay, so, there is the bit where we get rid of the police officer. Now, I didn't see in CAP 722 electronic conspic. I think remote ID networked is electronic conspicuously. So basically your drone when flying, okay, will now talk to a network, so your information can go to a UTM of some kind. It might actually even just be going back somewhere so someone can find you. Remember, it's all about law enforcement now. You can forget security because that's just rubbish, in my opinion. You know, it doesn't provide, remote ID does not provide security for anything. And if anyone thinks or believes it does, you're well mistaken. Simple, you know. Oh, unless you want to feel secure that you know the drone is owned by someone, by me, and I've got an operator ID. It didn't make any difference before. In the 20 odd years I've been flying, not having it has not made me less secure. In the 8 years that I've been operating commercially, not having remote ID has never meant that I have not been a security risk. I've always been, I'm not a security risk, I just fly. Those that want to do things like prison, drug runs and all that kind of stuff, or want to use a drone in some other format, they're not fitting remote ID. It is a system that's quite clearly in CAP 722 for law enforcement. And it's only law enforcement for those that will follow the rules. That's all it's for, in my eyes. It doesn't do the system, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't build on tomorrows at all. It's just, yeah. And what's interesting is, like I say, CAP 1879 never mentioned law enforcement at no point, which is really interesting. So at what point did they go, well, in CAP 722, we'll just put law enforcement in and we'll take out privacy. At what point was that change made? And I think we need to understand when they went, oh, we're going to put law enforcement in. So I've put a Freedom of Information Act in. I want to know at what point did they decide to do that and why weren't we told in advance? And we just, you know, it's just backdooring it basically by the looks of it. It's one of the few things I don't like in the new CAP 722. It's looking good, but then you get the one thing that just spoils it. You know, and I do think CAP 722, the new one, is looking quite interesting on many respects, okay? And they're being clear on a lot of stuff. So I can see also that a lot of GVC courses now, a lot of the REs are going to go, right, we need to go back now, look at what our course materials, look at CAP 722, and build again. So I can see courses getting a bit thicker at times maybe, but we'll see. So yeah, that's remote ID.